like the message, if I could have a message for the young Moors and the Europeans, as far as Noble Drew Ali, is what they can't see now, what I've been saying, like about the plenipotentiary for Cuba was located in Chicago, 1928. He was Noble Judah. Noble Judah was the plenipotentiary for Cuba for the United States. When the United States wanted to communicate with Cuba, they used Noble Judah in Chicago, 1928. His embassy, what you would call, it was in Chicago. He has a 7 acres with a sign that has the 7, and it's 7 acres that he had in his estate as well. But Noble Judah, what happened was Noble Judah's wife, she has to do with AT&T. She inherited the pulling the plugs and put them in the other plugs back in the day when you would, talk to different countries or you wanted to send telegrams. So in Havana, Cuba, since Noble Judah was the ones who talked to Cuba, 1928 and 29, all nations came together, all the pale-skinned nations, because the only ones that was warring at the time was the pale-skinned nations. But within these telegrams, it's called the Great Compact. It was the first agreement of all nations, all pale-skinned nations, to come together and agree to perpetual peace. But then there was a little telegram sent that said, what about the Sharifian government, the Moroccans, because they have never been at war. They have always been on the defensive side of all of our nations. So they're not a party. So then all the nations agreed that anyone can become within this compact of peace agreement by sending oral or written statement to the Secretary of State in Washington, D.C., agreeing to perpetual peace with all nations. But you have the right to defend yourself if that's infringed upon, which was what Noble Drew Ali was said. If you can run away, run away. But if you're backed into the corner, then you can defend yourself. It all goes into this compact. All the nations, Russia, all of them came together and agreed to perpetual peace, perpetual forever, recycling over and over again. But it was done through Noble Judah, the plenipotentiary for United States for Cuba, who was located in Chicago. Like Noble Drew Ali said, I have a lion on the leash. Noble Judah's the lion. He was well known. He was a European man, but he was well established in Chicago, known as Noble Judah, the plenipotentiary to speak with Cuba for the United States. And it's all on the page and all that, man. I don't want to I'm just saying a short message because I know the younger Moors can come in and take this information, man, because hey, the elders ain't listening, bro. They're not listening like to this information. Also, Noble Drew Ali, North Carolina, there was a man in the 1800s to 1870s and 80s, right before the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was born in North Carolina, a man named Uncle Moore, Prince Moore. He was a man that was, they kidnapped a man and was going to sell him over here as a slave, but they didn't know he was a prince. His name was Prince Moore. I mean, he was in the Moroccan Empire at the time, but they call it Fula. It was the Fulas. He was a Fula prince, but he was known as Prince Moore. So when they brought him here, he ended up living with the governor in North Carolina. And they found out he could write Arabic. He was keeping his craft sharp. He mastered Islam and he mastered Arabic like at the age of 7 or 10, the same as Ali that was born from Fatima, who gave birth to that Ali in the Kaaba. They say you're facing the Kaaba, but the Kaaba has to do with the Ali, because Fatima Ali gave birth to that Ali inside of the Kaaba. That's why I'm saying the young Moors need to listen to this, because nobody can see or hear at this point what I'm saying, man, because there ain't no other Moor talking about this. Also, the image of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I ain't seen no other Moors take and share and say, look, here's an image of Ali in Calcutta in 1923 with 2 fakirs that had the stones around their neck. I found that, which means whoever said that before, Peter Moon or Hakeem Bey, the European that calls himself Hakeem Bey, Peter Lamborn, whoever wrote that, or it was the younger brother. What's his name? It's Patrick Boeing. I don't know who it came from, but I do know that it said like around 2012. I remember reading that Noble Drew Ali was around a fakir. This image in Calcutta, India, which is known as the Black Hole. It's where some of the first black casts came from. That's why Ali knew about the black and white system, because in Calcutta, India, it's called the Black Hole. And you can have two brothers that are the same blood, and one of them get caught stealing. They're classified and put in the caste system as black because they're seen as dishonorable. But the other brother didn't do that, so his status is still white. It has nothing to do with skin tone. But I found the image. This is to the young Moors. I found the image of Ali in Calcutta, 1923. It's got him with the fez on and everything. And it looks like he has two relatives to his left. There's two of them. They got real strong brows. Because you can see it in Ali, but then you can see it to the two on the side that look, some of them look younger. But I mean, one of them looks younger and one of them looks older. But they all have that same brow. You could tell they're related, bloodline. But yeah, this is for the young Moors. So Prince Moore has the origin of man, which Noble Drew Ali has in his Quran. And all this is the Europeans found out he knew Arabic and he was an Egyptian adept, and every European wants to, the shrine and all that. So they try to transcribe and translate what he was writing in Arabic into English. But they didn't know every word. And sometimes they'd write Allah, and then sometimes they'd write God. Just, they didn't know what they was doing, man. So it wasn't divinely prepared. But like I said, Noble Drew Ali came right behind Prince Moore in North Carolina. And he has origin of man and different things. So Prince Moore, Uncle Moore, I'm going to make the stand that this is Noble Drew Ali's uncle, because he's Prince Moore, North Carolina, 1800s. Come from the Moroccan Empire or the Moorish Empire. We have both news clips saying Moorish Empire and Moroccan Empire, or Muslim dominions, Muslim Empire. Nonetheless, man, that's Noble Drew Ali's uncle. So in North Carolina, there's a temple there that has a red flag on the left and a U.S. banner on the right outside of the mosque. It's the Omar Ibn Said Mosque, and that's Prince Moore. That's Noble Drew Ali, uncle. He has an image of him sitting in the chair with the cane, and his hands are placed just like like Noble Drew Ali, because Noble Drew Ali divinely prepared, because these Europeans took all of it and they messed it up. They was mailing different parts to their friends, and some people wasn't getting it back, so stuff was getting missing. But Noble Drew Ali had it, and he did what he had to do, and he divinely prepared it from Prince Moore, Uncle Moore in North Carolina, 1800s, Egyptian adept. This is for the young Moors, the new, because I already put this information out a year, 2 years. And the Havana, Cuba, that one is very strong. Noble Judah, plenipotentiary for United States, speaking with Cuba in 1928-29, and he went to the Havana Convention with Kellogg and all of them. But that's what it's called, the Kellogg Compact. And all nations of the world met in United States, and they met in London, and they signed this peace agreement. So yeah, and there's a lot more that goes with it. But this would be my message to the Moors, man, the ones that's just coming in. Go straight to your prophet, because all the civics, man, is within them books that the prophet has. But I mean, other, Supreme Court cases, case law, res judicata, supreme law of the land, constitution. But watch out for some of the treaties, because them treaties, they would place a sultan in the seat to sign a treaty so that foreigners could get access to the land and the shore. And then they further got in over here and made treaties with India princes, which are known as the Indians, because they assisted Britain and France in occupying over here. So they was rewarded by land and stuff, but then Europeans started taking their shit too. They're India princes, descendant of India princes. So Islam to the the new Moors, the young Moors that's coming in. Because man, I've had this information, been putting it out, and people don't listen. And it's like, wow. But it feels good being in my seat.
I wouldn't go down that path. I can show you where to find the keys, right underneath your feet, 90 degrees, door squeak, wipe the cobwebs off the charter. I've been sitting here for 2 weeks, never speak till the prophet does. That's what it says, so that's what it was. That's what it is, long as Ali's love, as below, as above. Put my hand on my heart, thank Allah for the art that the prophet brought. Ali, forget me not.